track a little bit here. The live streaming that we started a few minutes ago cut out, and we are restarting the service. So I want to say welcome. My name is Cybie Mauro, and this is a totally new experience for me. I've been speaking here for over 3 decades, on and off, and I have never spoken to an empty church before. But what I know is it's not empty. Your vibration is here. Is it good?
No, it's a salad. Should I check again? There we go. Yep.
Okay. All right, so we've been interrupted again, so...
No, go ahead.
Okay, great. Sorry about that. We're having a little technical difficulty here. So as I was saying, these empty pews are really not empty. They are filled with the vibration of your imprint of the love that you leave here and that energy that you bring when you come. And so if you imagine yourself sitting here and imagine the people in front of you, behind you, on either side, and just send love out to those people and know that we are virtually connected. And in truth, we are connected heart to heart at all times in that divine source of our life. And so now I will read the daily word. Power. I take dominion over my thoughts, words, and actions. The power of God protects me. Today I hear with renewed understanding this line from James Dillett Freeman's prayer for protection. And a growing sense of awareness of the oneness with my source, I realize that the power of God works through me and as me, rather than simply in me and for me. I embody divine power by choosing words that affirm the truth that I am a spiritual being as I navigate the valleys and peaks of my human experience. By expressing my power, I am claiming dominion over my words and thoughts. I affirm statements of truth while releasing negative thoughts and ideas. I think and speak with the authority of my Christ presence. I think and speak with the authority of my Christ presence. And from 2 Timothy, for God did not give us a spirit of cowardice, but rather a spirit of power and of love and of self-discipline. So as I was reflecting on these words this morning, I realized God is our source of power. And just as we need to plug into an outlet to tap into and utilize the power of electricity, we need to plug into the power of God. And how do we do that? Through taking time for meditation and prayer and spiritual reading, music and time in nature. Consciously pausing with the intention to tap into the Christ presence in which we live and move and have our being. To align our attention and our intention in order to experience the presence and the power we call God. And so if you find yourself in need of some power to withstand all of the turmoil in the world, find yourself plugging in, tapping into that source of divine energy. And so it is. And now we have a couple of announcements someplace. All right. Here we go. Coming soon, we are going to have, and in light of this time of not being able to gather together, we are going to gather virtually and have discussion groups. So they'll be set up for different times and days, perhaps, depending on how many people are interested and have the technology to tap in. You just need a simple computer. It will be straightforward, and you'll receive an invitation that you can click on at that time. So we will be surveying people to see if you're interested and what is your preference for joining a group, a day or time. and then we will get back to you with details. Also, we're working on perhaps doing an affirmation for the day, or maybe every other day or so on constant contact. So stay tuned and check in to the check the constant contact as it comes forward to you in your email. We will continue having live streaming every Sunday, so tune in. And you will receive very shortly a letter in the mail. And the letter will contain the form that you could fill out for electronic giving. It will contain an envelope for returning with your love, offering, tithes, or gifts. And so just be aware that at this time, we are still in need of the funds to manage our ministry, and so your generosity is greatly appreciated. Our Unity Cares team is coming back into being. The leadership of Unity of Syracuse is asking for those who might be able to assist or be part of this team to give Sally a call. So you can either send an email to the church office or call Sally at 315-882-8323. 882-8323. Thank you, everyone, and thank you, Sally. Okay. And so now we move on, and I will read the statement of being. So if you know it, you can say it out loud in the comfort of your own home, or if you don't know it by heart, you can just sit and maybe close your eyes and receive these words. God is all, both visible and invisible. One presence, one mind, one power is all. This one that is all is perfect life, perfect love, and perfect substance. I am an individualized expression of God. I am ever one with this perfect life, perfect love, and perfect substance. And so now we would normally greet each other with a namaste. So I bow, and the light in me bows to the light in you, and we can do that to each other virtually. I'd like to welcome our guests today by streaming. So if you are a first-time listener or viewer, please check out our website and know that we are glad that you've joined us today, and stay in touch. We'd love to know who you are and how we can be of service. You can contact the office by phone or email if you wish us to if you wish to be on the mailing list or the email list. So we have in Unity 5 basic principles, and I will simply read them, and you can be reflective of how maybe these principles have worked in your week, over these past 2 weeks perhaps. So just allow yourself to kind of become a little reflective here. Number 1, God is the source and creator of all. God is good and present everywhere. And 2, we are spiritual beings created in God's image. 3, we create our life experiences through our way of thinking. And 4, there is power in affirmative prayer. And number 5, we live these spiritual principles. In other words, they don't work in our lives until we apply them. And so as we apply these principles, and they serve us to stay in that place of equanimity in all circumstances and situations, we understand and experience the power of these principles. Normally, we would have the coming forth of the prayer box with the prayer requests in them. know that we are always connected to the divine. God knows our prayers before we ask. And so know that your prayers have already been received in spirit. And yet, if you would like contact with someone who can pray with you, Silent Unity has been praying round the clock for over 125 years. And you can call them 24/7 for a wonderful prayer with a person, or you can even hear a pre-recorded prayer as well. So you call Silent Unity, and the number is 800-NOW-PRAY. 800-NOW-PRAY. All right. And I would like to have a prayer before I move into my talk. So let's just do that together. Infinite and eternal presence, in which we live and move. Days ahead. May we be open and receptive to that guidance, which is bringing us all to the highest good. And it is so. And we give thanks and say amen. All right. Now, great. So I'm moving over to the other side of my desk, so to speak. All right. And the title of my talk today is Navigating the Twilight Zone. I don't think I need to explain why I chose the title. What we are experiencing today really seems like an episode from that old TV series, minus the eerie music and the ominous introduction by Rod Serling. But indeed, we are going through a collective experience that is surreal and heretofore unimaginable. We are living in somewhat of a fantasy. Now, the word twilight is actually defined as the time of day in which the sun is just below the horizon. The sun itself is no longer visible, but there is still a glow of light. Another meaning found in the dictionary is a period or state of obscurity, ambiguity, or gradual decline. That sounds about right. Sounds like we are in a kind of a twilight zone. In twilight, there's not enough light to see clearly. Our path is obscured by darkness, so we cannot see ahead. And truly, this describes our current situation. We are facing the uncertainty of the future, standing on the edge of the unknown and the unforeseeable. It's a scary place to be. And yet what I know is that we are all there together. This experience of the collapse of our world as we have always known it to be crosses all boundaries of race, gender, religion, politics, social and economic status. It is a rude awakening to what we have refused to acknowledge, but is so obvious now, that we are all deeply connected. We are interdependent, we rely on, and we need each other. Father Richard Rohr says that great suffering leads to great love. I believe that love is both the path and the destination. In this instance, there is no lifeboat for one of us until there was one for all of us. So here we are, together, waking up to what is truly important in life. And how do we navigate through this time of uncertainty, a transition to a new world, and maintain a sense of equanimity? First, I would like to say to you, whatever you are experiencing or have experienced in these past couple of weeks, whatever you're going through, it is normal. It is human, and you are not alone. Feel your feelings, but don't set up camp there. I have had in the past week a couple of tearful moments in which I felt deep grief and sadness. And yet, I allowed myself to feel the grief and then moved on. We can move from our feelings if we do not allow the feelings to become who we are. We can control our thoughts. We cannot control what is happening around us. Only our thoughts about what is happening. Now, I recognize that this whole experience has forced us all to live one day at a time. It certainly has made it necessary to live in the present moment, to stop and know, in this moment, I'm okay. And now this moment, and now, and now, and even now. If our thoughts go to the uncertain future and brings up fear and anxiety, it is helpful to look to nature for some solace. See the birds carrying on. Know that the trees will be budding soon. Notice the longer days. And the sun still comes up every morning. And stars will come out at night. It is a great comfort that the natural world can show us the underlying rightness of life. The Chinese character for the word crisis is a combination of two symbols, one for danger and one for opportunity. We can easily see the danger in this current crisis, but opportunity? Yes, great opportunity here. In unity, we say, nothing happens to us. Everything happens for us. In every challenge and difficulty, there is a hidden blessing. We don't just go through challenges, we grow through them if we stay awake. So how do we navigate through the flood of fear and anxiety and the uncertainty and confusion to glean the blessings? Well, our 5 unity principles, they either serve us in all times or they don't serve us at all. So that's where we can look for guidance in these troubled days. Our first principle, there is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, God, the good, omnipotent. If we really knew there was only one power and one presence, and it was God, the good, and we knew it beyond a shadow of a doubt, would we have any fear, doubt, or worry about anything? God is the animating force in each of us and in all life. Everything is an expression and extension of divine source. It is the renewing, revitalizing, restoring, replenishing force in nature. God is love, and the essence of our being is love. So this first principle calls us to surrender and trust, to have faith in the yet unseen, in the unfoldment of divine order. Jesus said, "Judge not by appearances, judge by righteous judgment." Righteous judgment means looking beyond appearances, and knowing that God is working in and through every situation and circumstance, and ultimately good will be revealed. From my finite human perspective, I could go to worry and fear, but dwelling in the God of infinite possibility and the unlimited imagination of divine mind, I find release and peace. Simply, I let go and let God. So it's an opportunity for us to look at ourselves and ask, where have we placed our faith? Is our faith more in the limited viewpoints of the modern world? Or is it in a benevolent universe? It's an opportunity to practice affirming our faith in the divine source of life and its ultimate goodness. Scientifically, we know that the physiology of fear suppresses the immune system, and conversely, the energy of gratitude boosts it. We also know that thoughts are things, and thoughts held in mind are creative, which is our third principle. So this is an opportunity to focus our thoughts on what's good and true, what uplifts the spirit. Myrtle Fillmore wrote, "Every divine idea you meditate upon and incorporate into your consciousness does a mighty, regenerating, transforming, spiritualizing work in your mind, soul, and body, and even in your outer world of affairs. Each time you grasp an idea of truth, you lift your consciousness a little higher, and the work of transformation goes on." Myrtle knows what she's talking about. She held the thoughts of her own health in mind and was healed of an illness that was to take her life within 6 months, and she lived for another 40 years. She is the co-founder of Unity. And to raise our personal vibration, we can practice gratitude. Gratitude is one of the highest vibrations that there is. And when we do that, we add positive energy to the collective consciousness. So let's look for the good and count our blessings. What a great time to start up that gratitude journal. I, for one, am so grateful that this all is occurring while spring is arriving. I'm grateful to get out in the fresh air, to work in the yard, and take a walk, keeping my distance from others, of course. I am deeply, deeply grateful that the young children are not seemingly susceptible to this virus. I can feel uplifted when I see crocuses poking out of the ground and birds returning, or even just sitting in my reading chair. I'm grateful for technology that allows me to be connected to my friends and family and see our little grandson. It can be a time for cleaning out, making room for the new, even as the old ways of our world are being challenged, perhaps clearing the way for something new. It may be a time to write that story, write your biography, take a stab at writing poems, or go to YouTube and learn a new skill, or just put on music and dance. It's time to reflect on all we have taken for granted. Friends of mine, Kristen and Bill, have spent over a decade working in Africa. As we were reacting in fear of lack, rushing to stock up on food and toilet paper for some reason, or worrying about meeting our medical needs, they said, this is how much of the world lives on a daily basis. Not sure if they will have food or get medicine or treatment when needed. It's definitely a call to wake up to the privileges, conveniences, and luxuries of our daily lives. It's humbling We can bow our heads in gratitude and promise to remain mindful of all the abundance in our lives and pledge to share our abundance and to get perspective on what is really necessary in our lives. Our fourth principle states that affirmative prayer and meditation work. They work to bring about a close connection to God and manifest the good that we seek in our lives. We often say we don't have time to meditate. Well, that excuse has been taken away, hasn't it? We all have more time than we know what to do with, at least most of us. We've now been given the opportunity to slow down, forced to take a step back from our lives of our outer doing and busyness, to pause, reflect, and allow ourselves the luxury to investigate what drives us, to explore new ways of engagement instead of endless, unconscious distractions. I hope you are taking time for meditation, prayer, and spiritual reading. As I said, there's no excuse now. And one of the ways we can start our time of prayer or meditation is by reading the daily word. It's a source of such inspiration and comfort. And it's amazing how spot on it is sometimes, especially in this last week. Last Friday, when things seemed to really take a turn, it got real last Friday. The word was protected. I'll read one sentence. With God, I am greater than any challenge I face. Knowing this, I release all fears and doubts. I commune with God through meditation, prayer, and time in silence. And the next day, the word was divine order. I affirm divine order is at work in my life. There are times when I want to push for a desired result or force an outcome. I remember that divine order is always at work in every situation. How I feel, think, and act in response to everything that comes my way creates the life I live. And on Monday, the daily word was grow, and it said, rooted in community, I grow and evolve. It brought home the message that we indeed live in an interconnected world. And then there's yesterday's reading, which was focus. My mind and heart can be like a landscape of beliefs and emotions. I remember that my life flows in the direction of my energy, so I am always mindful about where I place my focus. Placing our focus on what's good, on the possibility of a brighter, better future. And today's word, power. I embody divine power by choosing words that affirm the truth with a capital T, and I am a spiritual being as I navigate the valleys and peaks of my human experience. I affirm statements of truth while releasing negative thoughts and ideas. Please let us know if you need a copy of the Daily Word. I will make sure personally that it comes to you. And the last thing I want to address is connection and community. We certainly have realized how important connection is for our mental and spiritual well-being. My husband Don and I have made so many phone calls this week to friends we haven't talked to in ages. This mandatory separation has made us all acutely aware of the need for human connection. Suddenly, it seems important to stay connected and let our friends know we care. We can all reach out, make some calls, write a note, and help mitigate the sense of isolation or maybe even loneliness. And I want to recognize those individuals who are not subject to the stay-at-home order because their services are essential. They do their jobs at great risk. They are keeping this food supply flowing and the hospitals running and maintaining many other essential services. We hold them in our hearts with great appreciation and love. Again, it reminds us of our interconnectedness. It is an interesting time for this collective experience of change, loss, and transformation. We are in the season of Lent, which leads to the time of remembrance of the crucifixion of Jesus and his subsequent resurrection. In a sense, we are going through a similar experience in our world. It calls us to live in the mystery of this event in history, and we can only wait to see what the resurrection will be like. I started my talk with a definition of twilight. What I didn't tell you then was what I learned when I looked up the word. It is not just describing the light at the end of the day when the sun is going down. Twilight also refers to the time just before the sun rises. As we experience a descent into darkness, there is the assurance of the return of light. Let us cling to this metaphor and together create the dawning of a new world of love and light. Eckhart Tolle writes in his book, A New Earth, when one has had a direct experience of the unstable nature of form, you will likely never overvalue form again and lose yourself blindly pursuing it or attaching yourself to it. I'm not sure that everyone will undergo such a transformation, but I do feel there will be a shift for many in how we view life and what we value. And may we come to know that our interconnectedness, which we call love, is the true reality. We are one. I'd like to move into our time of meditation by reading a piece that was sent to me by Rick Patrick. If you're listening, thank you, Rick. And it's gone viral on the internet, so you may have seen it. So just take a moment now to get comfortable and close your eyes. And let your heart open. It's called In the Time of Pandemic. And the people stayed home and read books and listened and rested and exercised and made art and played games and learned new ways of being and were still and listened more deeply. Some meditated, some prayed, some danced, some met their shadows, and the people began to think differently. And the people healed. And in the presence of people living, in the absence of people living in ignorant, dangerous, mindless, and heartless ways, the earth began to heal. And so now let us take a moment to move to our heart space. So just with the eyes closed, if you're willing, or a soft gaze. Connect to your breath. And notice as you connect to your breath, it brings you into the awareness of your body. That movement, like a gentle wave passing through the body, the rise and the fall, the in and the out. Allow the shoulders to relax and the arms to get heavy. Feel the seat that's supporting you and know that it is a metaphor for life itself, supporting you right where you are in whatever you're going through. Take a conscious breath in and out. Breathe in peace. Breathe out anxiety. Breathe in love. Breathe out fear. Breathe in the breath of God. Breathe out the small self. And just allow the breath now to continue from your heart center. With each breath, like the petals of the lotus opening the heart center. And as your heart opens, you are called inward, into your heart space, to your inner sanctuary, where you are one with the Christ consciousness that dwells within. Just picture yourself in a luminescent bubble of light. Let it fill your very being. Let it warm you to the depths of your soul. Let it raise your vibration to one of immense love and gratitude for this life you call yours. And you find a seat, a bench to sit, and you look around and you see now the beauty surrounding you, whatever it is for you. Picture in your mind's eye this place of complete safety, beauty, and love. Just sit for a moment in the stillness, in communion with the God of all life. Now, connecting to your breath once more, allow yourself to feel the breath in the body, to feel the image of your sanctuary, your safe place of refuge, to fade and come back into the body, into the place that you are. But know that you bring with you the peace and the love, and can return there anytime by taking a few moments. So taking a deep breath in now. And as you gradually come back, I would like to read from Nan Merrill's translation of Psalms 106, an excerpt. May we become bearers of joy, we who are invited to share in the cosmic dance. We pray for the gift of wisdom, that the motivations of our heart might be made pure, that we may recognize the perfect timing of all things and know the seasons of the heart. May we walk with faith all the days of our life, confident in your living presence, even in times of trouble, and with the assurance for what is and all that is to be. May we have faith in the unfolding of our lives and radical trust in the universe. Awaken us to the oneness of all things, to the truth and beauty of unity. May we become aware of the interdependence of all living things and come to know you in everything and all things in you. As we attune to your presence within us, we know not separation, and joy becomes our dwelling place. And so as you continue to take some nice conscious breaths, bring yourself back and open your eyes if they're not open already, and be here now. Well, I want to thank you for joining us this morning. Thanks to Leland for being the cameraman. We're keeping a good distance apart.
I would just like to say that really appreciate the patience of everyone that has been watching this today as we've gone through some learning curves. So blessings to all, and you are in my heart. Thank you.
Thank you, Leland. So we've come to the end of our time together, and let's remember to practice common sense, stay safe, wash your hands, and keep the faith. So you may wish to join me in the prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Virtual hugs, my friends, all around. And let's remember to choose peace over panic and faith over fear. And I would like to end, and I will be leaving the camera with the playing of a song that you're familiar with, and it's sung by a father-daughter duet. And so, namaste, peace be with you, and hopefully we will see each other soon. We love you. We bless you. We behold the Christ in you.
And watch us where we go, and help us to be wise in times when we don't know. Let this be our prayer when we lose our way. Lead us to a place, guide us with your grace, to a place where we'll be safe.
I pray we'll find your love.
I pray we'll find your love
And hold it in our hearts. When stars go out each night,
when stars go out each night,
remind us where you are. Let this be our prayer.
let this be our
When
prayer.
shadows fill our day,
Let shadows fill our day.
lead us to a place, guide us with your grace, to a place where we'll be safe. A world where pain and sorrow will be ended, and every heart that's broken will be mended, and we'll remember we are all God's children, reaching out to touch, reaching to the sky. We ask that life be kind and watch us from afar. We hope each soul will find another soul to love. Let this be our prayer, just like every child.
Just like every child
Needs to find a place, guide us with your grace, give us faith so we'll be safe. Needs to find a place, guide us with your grace, give us faith so we'll